one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power, invisible, yet we see it everywhere in everything. There's one power, indescribable, yet we speak of it in every word we say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power.
Good morning. Let us take a moment to arrive here in this place we call home. As we settle in, consider these words. Your innermost sense of self, of who you are, is inseparable from stillness. This is the I am that is deeper than name or form. I invite you to take a breath and let yourself be present here in this moment. As you breathe, take note of three things. First, what you're experiencing in your head, what you might be thinking. Second, what you might be experiencing in your body. And third, what are you feeling? What are your emotions this morning? As you take your next breath, see if you can connect that breath to your heart. As you breathe into your heart, notice how the breath can open the connection to the experience of the divine. Even as you listen to my words, notice the visceral feeling of that connection from heart to consciousness. Allow yourself to witness that connection and to feel the God nature within. As you recognize that opening, remember that this process is available to you anytime you need it. Know that when you are feeling distressed by anything, whether internal or external, you can access this sacred place whenever you choose. It is this divine connection that we call prayer.
It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, oh, it's one power. It's the power of the love that lives in you. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's one power, one power, one power.
On the day I die, a lot will happen. A lot will change. The world will be busy. On the day I die, all the important appointments I made will be left unattended. The many plans I had yet to complete will remain undone. The calendar that ruled so many of my days will now be irrelevant. All the material things I so chased and treasured will be left in the hands of others to care for or to discard. The words of my critics, which so burdened me, will cease to sting or capture anymore. The arguments I believed I won will not serve me or bring me any satisfaction or solace. All my noisy incoming notifications and texts and calls will go unanswered. My many nagging regrets will all be resigned to the past, where they should have been anyway. Every superficial worry about my body, my waistline, my hairline, or my frown lines will fade away. All the small and large anxieties that stole sleep from me each night will be rendered powerless. These things certainly will be true on the day that I die. Yet, one more thing will happen. On the day I die, the people who really know and truly love me will grieve deeply. They will feel a void. They will feel cheated. They will feel as though a part of them has died as well. And on that day, more than anything in the world, they will want more time with me. And so, knowing this, while I am still alive, I'll try to remember that my time with them is so very precious. And I'll do my best not to waste a second of it. Friends, other things have an insidious way of keeping you from living even as you live, vying for your attention, competing for your affections. They rob you of the joy of this unrepeatable, uncontainable, ever-evaporating now with those you love and who love you and want only to share it with you. Don't miss the chance to dance with them while you can. Yes, you and I will die one day, but before that day comes, let us live.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I am a child of the living God, made
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So, you probably remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Steve Mason came down and we've been working on writing a song together with the kids. The song is amazing, and you guys are going to get to hear it in 2 weeks. So coming up, we're very excited. So 2 weeks from today will be our next Youth and Family Ministry Hospitality Day. It'll be June 10th, and that will be the grand unveiling of the song. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender.
Good morning and welcome. I'm going to turn welcome in a different direction here for just a moment while I welcome Elizabeth Nachman as a new member of the Platform Assistance team. She introduced herself with a lovely prayer this morning. I was asked at the end of first service if anyone was stepping down, and we are not. We're just augmenting the team, so there will be 4 of us now, in case you were curious about that. Beyond Sunday services, Platform Assistants do meet with Dr. Richard now and then to pray and to vision and to support each other and to explore the evolution of what we do here on Sundays together. Dr. Richard inspires us and invites us to bring our own creativity to the job, within boundaries, of course, and to think of the role as one of ministry itself. I remember him saying more than once, we all minister to each other. This morning, I'm very excited to welcome Elizabeth to the Platform team. She enjoys the support of her husband, Tim, her beautiful daughters, and I'm just excited on your inaugural Sunday to be able to say welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thanks, Linda, and thank you all. I am so honored to be here, and I will try not to do little waterworks up here because I'm inclined to do that, I gotta tell you. And hopefully my knees won't be knocking together quite as hard as they were during first service. I am thrilled to look out and see all your faces and feel your support. Whether you are here for the first time or have been coming for years, we welcome you, regardless of your background, your past. We open our arms to all. We don't care about your beliefs or your non-beliefs, for it is in our diversity that we can listen and learn. We encourage all kinds of conversation and connection among us all, and everyone who comes through our doors. Welcome. As the final Sunday of the month, this is Divine Wholeness Sunday. In addition to meeting with a prayer chaplain after service for personal prayer, you are also invited to join your prayer chaplains in the family room for a Divine Wholeness session. Divine Wholeness is a silent, sacred time of being supported by a prayer chaplain as you open to the movement of the Holy Spirit within you. I promise you that this is a powerful and very healing experience. Also, since this is the 4th Sunday of the month, your Board of Trustees is providing some really wonderful hospitality in Friendship Hall after the service. All are invited to stick around for conversation and refreshments, and please note that all donations today will go towards, drumroll please, our new wedding and special events gazebo. Thank you, Matthew, for spearheading that. We look forward to lots of special occasions in that. And thank you all for keeping our building both beautiful and functional. Positive prayer is a cornerstone of unity, and the power of practicing is profound. When I first came to Unity in Lynnwood, even in my hodgepodge background of Unitarian, Jewish, Christian Science muttdom, I still thought of prayer as asking God for something. And it's taken time and classes and guidance from great teachers. Thank you, Barbara Thorpe, out there. For me to recognize that prayer is connection with the divine. It's my ability to recognize the I am in life, love, and wisdom, and to feel that within every cell of my body. To quote Myrtle Fillmore, sometimes we pray to a God outside of ourselves, and it is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. So instead of searching outside ourselves and beseeching some big guy in the sky, we recognize that it is our role to connect to that force within, to experience the true divine consciousness. It is this realization that has helped make my life, with its losses and abundance, pain and joy, a true healing journey. There are many ways to access prayer here at Unity in Lynnwood. There is a prayer slip in the pocket of the seat in front of you, and you can write down your prayer and slip it into the basket as it comes by later in the service. You can call our confidential prayer line anytime, day or night, or you can go online and leave a prayer request there. Finally, most near and dear to my heart, you could ask for a personal time of prayer with a prayer chaplain after service. I'd like to recognize the prayer chaplains and ask you to stand. Thank you. Thank you so much for your service. And I do want to add, in case you don't know, and I can attest to this, that the prayer chaplains really do love to pray with you after service. So please take advantage of that opportunity. They're wonderful at what they do. Affirmations are another way that we make spirituality practical in our lives. When we positively affirm something, we invite our higher selves to resonate with that truth and to internalize it to a deeper part of our beings. Today's affirmation is displayed on the screen, and I invite you to listen while I read it. Then, please feel free to stand and join me in reading it together. I peer through all veils of illusion to perceive the divine truth of me, of you, of humanity. Truly, I see you. Join me. I peer through all veils of illusion to perceive the divine truth of me, of you, of humanity. Truly, I see you. Let's take a moment to see each other and welcome each other this morning.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one, one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Hello, friends at Unity in Lynnwood. My name is Reverend Linda, and you and I, we have a divine appointment. It's been in the works for quite some time, so I hope by now that you've already marked your calendar for the weekend of June 22nd, where we get to dive deep into our divine audacity. What I know is this, is that our culture has taught us to think very small about ourselves, that there is something noble we're taught about thinking ourselves as less than or of weak or helpless in some way, that even our religions have taught us that God wants us to be weak so God can be strong. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, really, our opportunity is to uncover the desires that are within us that are magnetized to our divine identity. And when we begin to realize our true nature that is divine and learn what that means, and therefore what qualities of that or what power that gives us to live in the world, then now we have something to give to the world. We have a stance of spiritual power from which to be able to do more good, to literally become what Jesus said we were here to be the light of the world. Now, many of us have had no training for this, and it's become my dominant intention on the planet to live this way, to know more about it, and to teach it to others. I hope you will join me and really begin to uncover what are you longing about in your life, such that the answer to it is developing a greater awareness of your natural, innate spiritual capacities. We are going to have an incredible time, a grand time, probably an emotional time, but also a high, powerful time that weekend. So please make your plans today to be there. And I've just got to say this, I'm doing my part. I'm doing everything I can to be really in the same vibration with you, where this can begin to unfold in a powerful way for each one of us. But you gotta bring it on. You've got to do your part. You have to enroll. You have to enlist. You have to commit yourself to this incredible weekend. I look forward to being with you. See you soon. Be well.
Bye. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett is the director of Silent Unity, in addition to being the acclaimed author of titles such as How to Pray Without Talking to God, my particular favorite of her many works. For those who are uncomfortable registering online, we have hard copy registration forms available in the back. Please see Karen Breen James. Karen, will you wave to these kind people, please? The $99 registration fee includes all meals, all materials, Friday, Saturday, June 22nd, 23rd. We would love to have you join us. We did it for Mother's Day. We're doing it for Father's Day. Your gift shop staff have created a beautiful basket of things that smell delicious, taste delicious, think delicious. Valued at about $90. Raffle tickets are available for $5. Please visit your spiritual gift shop. Every service has an ambassador. This person's role is to support you in your exploration and discovery of this divine evolving idea we call Unity in Lynnwood. So if you have a question about who we are, about what we believe, about what we teach, If you have a question about what's available to you, I love you too. Truly, I do. If you have a question about what's available to you during your exploration, please engage her in conversation. Her name is Nan Allen. Oh, what a light. What a light. What a light. Nan is proof that as we pass years, life need not become narrower. Life can become broader, more expansive, more courageous, more daring. Nan is proof of that. Practical spirituality, welcoming community, a short mission statement that yet again I believe speaks volumes. Take a deep breath. I'd like to support this with one of the 6 values statements we developed in conversation with your Board of Trustees beginning in late 2014. See if this is a position in consciousness, a spiritual value with which you can align. Today's reads as follows. We believe each person is an individualized expression of divinity itself. And we accept each person as such without condition, without question, without exception. As a matter of principle, it can be said that we at Unity in Lynnwood love boldly. Fair enough? I'm very happy to see you today. 1 year after the end of the war in Columbus, Mississippi, Miss Morton, Mrs. Fontaine, Mrs. Hill, Mrs. Sykes, regular visitors to what was known as Friendship Cemetery, were pulling weeds and briars, dropping flowers onto the graves of Confederate soldiers when they found themselves collectively compelled to begin dropping flowers onto the graves of Union soldiers as well. The custom earned a hearty response from the women of Columbus and resulted in a determination to make the decoration of all soldiers' graves an annual occurrence. And this story is told as the origin of what some call Decoration Day. However, it was 3 years after the same war that General and Mrs. Grant presided over ceremonies at Arlington National Cemetery, during which children from the Soldiers and Sailors Orphan Home joined members of the Grand Army of the Republic in dropping flowers onto Union and Confederate graves, while reciting prayers, while singing hymns. And this story is told as the origin of what some know as Decoration Day. In fact, so widespread was this impulse to honor after a war that had divided states, divided communities, even divided families, that such observances occurred spontaneously and simultaneously with no political or military involvement whatsoever in locations from Arlington Heights, Virginia to Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, Knoxville, Tennessee to Jackson, Mississippi to Kingston, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina to Memphis, Tennessee to Carbondale, New York, and the list goes on, and the list goes on, the list goes on.
I'll light a candle in your memory, though I don't know who you are. When I think about your family, I will wish upon a star. I pray that they'll find peace someday. I pray they'll make it through. I'll light a candle in your memory to honor you. I'll light a candle candle for America. May we feel peace inside. We'll hold each other closer and wipe the tears we've cried. I pray we'll bond together. I pray that we'll pull through. I'll light a candle for America, for me and for you. I'll light a candle for humanity, for the good that's yet to come, as we overlook our differences and join now as one. I pray we'll come out stronger in this world I'm dreaming of. I'll light a candle for humanity, to be a world living in love.
One UIL member wrote, and I quote, "I remember when my father passed. My father was quiet. My mother wore the pants in the family. And anybody else's family if she could get away with it. So when my father died, I was blown away by the outpouring of people who came to his funeral. There were special write-ups in the paper regarding his life, regarding his achievements. And I just remember thinking, did he know how well regarded, thought of, how loved he truly was while walking on the earth? Why do we wait until a person dies to truly see their highest potentials? And I think it's a fair question, don't you? Why do we wait until a person dies to truly see their courage, their beauty, their wonder, their brilliance, to truly see their capacity? And what do you think would happen if we turned that around? What do you think would happen if we determined to truly see the highest potentials? Unity would say it this way: what would happen if we determined to truly see that divine spark, that Christ presence within each other right here and now, while we're still together, scorching through space on this moist green rock we call home? Personally, I predict that it would be pretty awesome. I think it would be pretty awesome. Reminds me of a story. You've heard it already, so please indulge me, won't you? They were down to 5 monks. The order was dying. In the surrounding deep woods, there was a little hut that a rabbi from a nearby town used from time to time. And the monks knew that the rabbi was in when they saw the smoke from his fire rise above the treetops. Well, as the abbot agonized over the imminent death of his order, it occurred to him to ask the rabbi for advice. And so it was that early one morning, as the smoke rose above the treetops, the abbot embarked to be warmly welcomed by the rabbi. A few hours later, when the abbot explained the reason for his visit, the rabbi could only commiserate. "I know how it is," he exclaimed. "The Spirit has gone from the people. It's the same in my town. Very few come to the synagogue anymore." And so from this, the abbot and the rabbi spent the afternoon hours simply discussing truth as they understood truth to be, until the shadows began to lengthen through the wood, and the abbot's voice drew quieter. "While it's been a wonderful visit," he said, I have failed in my purpose. Is there nothing you can say to help me save my dying order?" And the rabbi's head simply nodded side to side. But as the abbot waved his farewell, the rabbi's raised voice reached his ear one last time. "Oh, the one thing I can say is that the Messiah is among you," at which point the door to the little hut closed and the lights flickered out. Well, upon his return to the monastery, the monks flocked to the abbot. "What did the rabbi say?" they asked. "What wisdom did he share?" And dejected, the abbot uttered he couldn't help. The only thing he did say as I was leaving was that the Messiah is among us, but I have no idea what those words mean. Even so, in the months that followed, the rabbi's strange words continued to dance in the hearts and the minds of the monks. The Messiah is among us, they thought. Could he possibly have meant that the Messiah is one of us here at this monastery? And if that's the case, who might it be? Certainly he didn't mean Brother Elred, thought one. Yeah, you laughing. After all, everyone knows Elred's sharp tongue. Why, just last week he was deriding and disparaging and demeaning Sister Rosalind over monastery politics on Facebook. Thank you for getting that, Danielle. Thank you. At the same time, turned the thought. Brother Elred is always humble of service. Maybe the rabbi did mean Brother Elred. And Sister Rosalind, certainly he didn't mean Sister Rosalind, thought another. After all, everyone knows Rosalind's troublesome gossip. Why, just last week she was overheard in Friendship Hall, speaking ill of a staff member to Brother Tiberius. At the same time, turned the thought. Sister Rosalind is always generous of resource. Maybe the rabbi did mean Sister Rosalind. And certainly he didn't mean me, thought another. Why, I have such a list of deficiencies and defects, such a list of faults, flaws, failures. At the same time, turned the thought. At the same time. And over time, in the off chance that the rabbi was right, and the off chance that one among them might be the Messiah, the monks began to treat each other, the monks began to treat themselves with an extraordinary respect. And over time, the occasional visitors to the monastery began to sense the powerful spiritual aura born of this extraordinary respect. So compelling was this spiritual aura that more and more people visited the monastery to picnic, to play, to pray. So compelling was this spiritual aura that people brought their friends, and those friends brought their friends, and they brought more friends, until eventually and finally one of the young visitors stepped forward to join the monks, and 5 became 6. And shortly thereafter, another, and 6 became 7, and shortly thereafter, another, and as the math goes, 7 became 8. And in no time at all, the monastery was a thriving order, a center of light across the realm. Is that a great story or what? And so it is that on this Memorial Day Sunday of 2018, and my hope that we will be encouraged to truly see the courage, the beauty, the wonder, the brilliance, the capacity which surround us in every moment in the form of each other, in the form of God's infinite creativity as it is expressed and expressing on the grand canvas that is earthly life. I turn to your stories. Thank you for sharing them with me. For having read each of your stories this year, I'm prepared to promise you that courage is sitting to your right, that beauty is sitting to your left. I'm prepared to promise you that wonder is sitting in front of you, that brilliance is sitting behind you. I am prepared to promise you that tremendous capacity is all around you this morning. As one example, and I do quote, with eyes of possibility, I saw the unsung beauty in a wide array of teens, determined that they have a sanctuary for a school. I created and run an educational community that cultivates authentic voices and strengths, empowering students to be fearless in their individuality and courageous as local and global leaders. End quote. Does this sound like the voice of courage to you? And the soul is among you this morning. Another reads as follows: my father taught me this in the first grade. He sent me to school each day with the assignment of speaking to 3 people and mentioning to them something positive that I noticed about them, and it had to be something real, not that I just liked the color of their shirt, but that I noticed how hard they worked on a project or how they helped someone on the playground. And each night my dad would ask me who I talked to and what I said. He would encourage me to listen to others, to notice what they were doing that was helpful or strong or kind, and to let them know someone noticed. Anyway, it became a way of life for me, and it served me well as a teacher, as a caregiver, as a mother, as a grandmother. It's what they will say at my memorial. They will say, she was kind. Does that sound like the voice of beauty to you? It does to me. This soul is among you this morning. Or how about this? At 19, I was in an automobile accident. Fully awake, I knew how many times the car rolled. I saw the mud scooped into the car through the broken windows. I had all the time in the world. I had time to bless and thank all those near and dear to me. I had time to say, if this is my time to go, it's okay. If it's my time to stay, what's mine to do? Well, 3 things came, and I will share one as the first 2 are personal. She continues, I was to write someone a letter of apology. This was a person I had never been rude to or done anything I would consider mean. This was a classmate, somewhat of a hypochondriac. But it came to me that I wasn't the kind of friend she needed at the time. So I wrote it, I blessed it, I mailed it. I never heard a thing. The letter was not returned. Well, 10 years later, we were at a class reunion. She came up behind me and she said, your letter changed my life. And she walked away, never to say another word about it. Does that sound like the voice of wonder to you? Because this deep listener is with you this morning. She's here. After obtaining college degrees and rubbing shoulders with House speakers, congressmen, governors, presidents, yeah, you just want to start looking around now, don't you? I thought all of that was important until one day a friend, a retired Lutheran minister, asked me what I had done in life that was important. Well, I blurted out that my enforcement of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was the most important task of my lifetime. As a teenager in the military, I wrote to Senator JFK and the Inspector General of the Army about the severe injustices I had observed against minority soldiers. Later, working as a union rep, I filed discrimination complaints with the EEOC against the world's largest multinational conglomerate, GE, I spent 34 days in courtrooms and won important remedies. In all cases, GE drastically revised their policy books. Several years later, I filed separate complaints with the EEOC against the U.S. Department of the Army, the U.S. Department of the Navy, and after lengthy hearings, I obtained positive remedies in both. The years went on, and a few years ago, I found myself explaining to my young African-American grandson why he should never use the N word in his Facebook postings. And another. Yesterday, she writes, I spent the day with one of my kids at the downtown Goodwill, the downtown Salvation Army stores. I read your email when I got home. I got to thinking, you do have that effect on me. I'd like to be remembered for being open to finding treasure on the ultimate treasure hunt, if you will. My life as a child was not conducive to learning much, at least not what you would consider ideal for a child. An understanding neighbor lady took me under her wing. One of the things she liked to do was go junking, as she called it. She would give me 35 cents and the run of the entire store. My family never went shopping anywhere except the commissary and the PX, and kids were not allowed, or at least that's what they told us kids. But Katie taught me much as we found treasure together. Her house was an eclectic mix of a working barber's chair, an old pipe organ, a huge lamp with beads dripping from the shade. Heaven, as I knew it to be at that time. Katie taught me much as we focused on treasure together. Life since has been a mix of heaven and hell, I suppose, much like anyone else's. I've been prayerfully finding the treasure in all I had, but once judged as secondhand or valueless. I had to try many ways of understanding life. Through much adversity, through life events I never would have chosen, I now understand my life as not unfortunate, but as perhaps the greatest gift I could ever have been given. In the last 2 years, I've been able to build upon what Katie started in me. So please remember me if you speak at my memorial service, and I hope you do, as the ultimate junker, because I can find the hidden treasure in the things I used to consider unworthy, even in myself. She concludes by saying, I hope I've been able to pass that on to my kids, their inherent worthiness. And finally, she writes, I believe my story is actually starting now. I believe it's starting now. Well, maybe 3 months ago when I started Unity, and I say this because most of my life was spent in a fog. I grew up in Michigan in a family with parents who tried their best. Obstacles such as alcoholism and infidelity made them fight a lot. Little guidance or structure led to abuse, which started for me at 3 years old, a cycle I endured for over half my life. And there are parts of life I don't remember. When you live in this state of fog, you kind of float with no connections to anyone or anything around you. You're numb. You tend to just exist, not live. I spent most of my life isolated and alone and in fear because this is what I was taught. And even when the abuse stopped and I was free, I didn't trust. I thought everyone was going to hurt me or abandon me, which was proven to be true. And this is why I think my story is starting now. Because the words above describe my history. How I've been asleep through life. These are events I cannot change. I have to accept that and move on. So now that I have had this awakening, I'm willing to accept what's going to come with it, the ups, the downs, the bitter, the sweet. I know I can do this because of the support of the entire UIL community. I'm willing to engage fully in the roller coaster ride of life through volunteering, through attending church services, making friends, pushing myself way out of my comfort zone. I will not let fear or doubt stop me from engaging in activities that help me grow as a spiritual being. Classes, energy work with Dr. Richard on questions, on prayer. I will take every opportunity that's presented to me. It's time for me to live, not exist. She concludes, I have a lot of growing to do yet, and yet I have a lot to learn, especially about God, prayer, life, human relationships. Well, welcome to the club. But for the first time, I feel like maybe there's a reason I'm here on this earth. You, she says, all of you are showing me that I have a lot of good in me, that I'm lovable. This is my developing story, and it will continue to blossom and grow. So voices of brilliance, voices of capacity, yeah. And these are all around you this morning. And I can just imagine that you're thinking something akin to, I just hope he tells us who all of these people are. And yet, as you've already intuited, that won't be happening. After all, how tempting would it be to simply create more exceptions? You can figure it out over hospitality if you like. But I find myself thinking back to our rabbi. What would have happened if he had said, the one thing I can say is that the Messiah is Brother Elred? Or the one thing I can say is that the Messiah is Sister Rosalind or Brother Tiberius. But he didn't. He didn't say that. For you see, I think he understood that the power didn't exist in assigning the Messiah to one person, but in truly seeing the Messiah in every person. And so it is with us. The power doesn't exist in assigning that courage, that beauty, that wonder, that brilliance, that capacity to one person, but in a willingness to truly see the highest potentials, that divine spark, that Christ presence in every person, right here and right now. Males and females, the old ones and the young ones, the gay ones and the straight ones, the rich ones and the poor ones, yes, the Jews, yes, the Gentiles, yes, the Republicans, and yes, the Democrats. And I predict that that would be pretty awesome. That our 5 might become 6, and that our 6 might become 7, and that our 7 might become 8, that in no time at all our monastery might become a thriving order, a center of light across the realm. The song is called Anam Cara. Soul friend is the idea. You're warmly welcome to sing along.
Anam Cara, Anam Cara, Anam Cara, Anam Cara. I see you see me. I know you know me. Anam Kara.
In recognition of those who have moved beyond our sight. But let this serve as a reminder to celebrate the life that sits next to us, to celebrate the divine brilliance, the beauty, the capacity, the wonder that's still here. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, Dr. Richard and Matthew. I know that I feel really honored to walk among all of you. Thank you. Now is the time that we'd like to give you the opportunity to give back to support this amazing community and all that we receive. As you prepare your love offerings, I will offer you this thought from Charles Fillmore. If we have freely received, we must also freely give and keep substance going, confident in our understanding that our supply is unlimited and that it is always right at hand in the omnipresent mind of God. Or as I like to say, we give so that we can receive.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God. say Amen.
Thank you for your gifts, and thank you, ushers, for your service. We truly recognize and give thanks that the spirit of love and truth multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is. Thank you. So everyone had a first time visiting Unity in Lynnwood. I remember mine, and we do like to just acknowledge those of you for whom this might be your first time. Anyone? Yay! Welcome, 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 welcome. We just love to celebrate new people, so thank you for letting us know that you're here. We hope that you'll join us after service in Friendship Hall and introduce yourselves and get to know us a little bit better. And if you are new or newer to Unity in Lynnwood, there are some things that you can take advantage of. First, in the front pocket of the chair in front of you, there's a newcomer's information card that you can take with you and learn about us. There's a welcome pack DVD. As you exit the sanctuary, please feel free to pick up one of those. We also would invite you to join our mailing list and receive just a couple emails a month. You can fill out the Stay in Touch card that's also in the back of the chair in front of you and hand it to the information station on the way out. And most importantly, do stop and visit our welcome and information station at the back of the sanctuary to talk with us, ask any questions, and to find out what's going on here at Unity in Lynnwood. So announcements for today. Today's beautiful flowers, they're always beautiful, Kathleen, are dedicated by Linda Babin in memory of Dr. Robert Mather of Yakima, who transitioned on May 7th, ending 97 years of vital life on this earth. By C.J. Arnaudo, in honor of Kate and Ken Taylor, Beautiful Lights to Many. By Gerard Rubinkowski in recognition of what would have been his mother's 100th birthday on the 31st, and by Marian Justin in memory of her husband, Stephen. If you'd like to dedicate flowers, please register at the gift shop for a suggested offering of just $10. Our new Artist Hallway coordinator, Nelia Fajardo, invites you to apply for our upcoming installation. Please grab an informational postcard from the back and contact her with any questions. And today is the last Sunday to apply. Please join our grounds team leader, Cheryl Jones. Are you here, Cheryl? I am. Oh, there you are. Hi. To join her in sprucing, what? I don't need to say any more than that, except to tell you when it is. It is Saturday, June 9th, 9 to 2 p.m. Lunch will be provided. You should probably bring some gloves for those blackberries. I know my husband Tim will be there helping out, so yay to all of you who help support that. Adult education continues with the Essential Charles Fillmore on June Tuesdays. This course examines the life, teachings, and works of this larger-than-life individual. We will use reading, discussion, reflection writing, and practice in what Mr. Fillmore called practical Christianity, facilitated by licensed Unity teachers, Jack and Angela Ekram. You up there? Yes, there you are. Thank you. Please do register, and this must be special because there's a little prism right here on that announcement, so that for sure is going to be special. Our health and wellness ministry invites you to 2 events. The Body is the Temple of the Soul is our lighthearted movement experience combining music and relaxation. Wear comfortable clothing, not these shoes, and bring a mat or blanket. Qigong, an ancient Chinese healthcare system that integrates physical postures, breathing techniques, and focused intention, is geared for beginners in a 2-week series of hour-long classes facilitated by Anila Goldie. And that is on June 30th and July 7th. So all these wonderful, great things happening at Unity in Lynnwood can also be found on our printed program, on our Facebook page, or by visiting our website, unityinlynnwood.org.
So again, Karen Breen James will be in the back with the registration forms for our all-community retreat, so please head back there. And then next Sunday, our musical guests will be Jaya Lakshmi and Ananda. If you heard them before, they're fantastic. So they will be here with original sacred music. So if you will join me, we'll sing our peace song.
Our Facebook, yes, yes. We're working with her on shyness coaching. To our Facebook audience, you are part of an extended family whom you do not see every Sunday, but you may turn and wave to them knowing that they are there, knowing that we are deeply connected, that in fact we are capable of offering support that transcends time and space. Take a deep breath. If there is a first name of any soul you'd like to introduce into this consciousness of love and support, please speak that name now. So on behalf of those names offered, yet again, it makes no difference whether it's with the human tongue or the human heart. On behalf of all who have turned a spiritual ear to this very conversation, be they seen or unseen, we light that candle. We light that symbolic candle representing that divine brilliance, representing life, representing love, representing a capital T truth that we don't see through our 5 sensory eyes, but we know only when we go to that expansive inner space that fails to recognize limitation. That's the candle we light on your behalf. And so with great faith and boldness, and let us lift our voices together and speak these closing words. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
The light of God surrounds us. The power of God protects. The presence of God watches over us, and all is well. The love of God enfolds us. Wherever we are, God is. We are safe, we are cherished, and all is well. All is well.
We close our time, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Happy Memorial Day.